I'm working on another fiction film right now. It's called Lorni, which is a Khasi term. I don't think there's an equivalent for it in the English language, but the closest appropriation would be the Flunner. I think it largely also identifies the world that we live in right now. So that the character is someone who's set here in Shillong, who aspires to be a detective and goes about investigating certain robberies that have taken place in Shillong. But it's also a commentary on the lives of people here, because as an indigenous community, we're stuck between this transition between modernity and traditional ideas. So where do people like us fit in? Like how much of modernity should we embrace at the cost of forgetting our indigenous identity, or how much of our indigenous identity should we cling on to and reject modernity? So these are the kind of issues that the film talks about. To immerse yourself in a space that's completely unfamiliar allows you to also reflect a lot in your head about what you want to address. So the premise of the film, or the idea of the film, actually came about then. Sometimes you will not find a producer and you have to work within these certain kind of a monetary constraints. But I think the fact that you don't have this 100% freedom to do whatever you want also makes you much more creative. You really have to figure out how do you go about making this film of yours without literally burning your pockets. So but I don't think there's one standard rule of how you would go about pitching a film to a producer. I think that for me, I've just been fortunate enough to be able to make stories or to address stories that also excite the people who are funding the films, and at the same time also are able to reach a wide range of audiences. So yeah. We also distribute our own films. We're trying to network with other people to also be able to distribute their films, and in return they distribute our films. So the distribution aspect of filmmaking is another ball game altogether. And the more your films are being viewed, the better your chances of your visibility, simply put. The rush that you get from being able to tell a story, the need and desire for you to tell stories, so that is what spurs me on, and that is what keeps me going as far as my work is concerned. One should make films not only for the people that live within that space, like I said, but your work should be accessible to everyone, and therein lies the answer to your question. It boils down to the accessibility and reach, and how we can access the films that are being made from here. Or when I'm done making a film, I switch off to doing music, which is a nice pleasant break. And then when I'm done making music, or when I've finished an album, or when I've finished recording a single, then I move on to the filmmaking things. This propels me to move on further. Yeah.